Z. Now, it's my understanding I wasn't able to watch this match because it happened on the B stream. Did anyone that is on the panel cast this CNZ match versus Nosfa that happened earlier?
I did.
Oh, you
this
did?
beak right here. Yeah.
Then why don't you stop hoarding secrets, 40 Lions, and let us on the details?
I just didn't want to cut you off. CNZ took it handily over Nosfa 2-0. The first map was a little bit closer than the second, but yeah, it was CK first 5-4, very close matchup, but the second one was about like 10-3. Nosfa on the slash just ran up against the visor. It was not pretty. Nosfa played a good game, but in the end, CNZ pulled it out. And again, Molten Falls is kind of his playground. So, yep, 2-0 over Nosfa, knocking him out to the lower bracket early.
And the reward for such a great performance is getting to play Cypher. So
yeah, quite the reward.
I guess it's a reward for us, maybe not so much for CNZ. Let's talk about these two. You mentioned about CNZ. He's had an up and down stage, right? There's been moments where the light shines through, and there's been others where it's like, we thought CNZ would perform a little bit better throughout the stage. He did end up seed 7. I'm not surprised to hear you say that he played very well and pulled out a victory like that, because we've seen him perform very, very well in stage finals in the past.
Yeah, and I was about to say I was really excited to see CNZ in this tournament purely because of that basis. He normally performs exceptionally well. Now we've seen some, as you put it, ups and downs throughout the stage where there were some really heavy losses included within there. But as you can see, there was a lot of good wins, and still it felt like he was almost finding himself and reevaluating some of the time, because again, there were some more unusual picks and again, uncharacteristic big losses. But to pull out a result like that against Nosfa, who I was personally had some interest in seeing him go far and expecting that, shows again where the level where he's currently at. So I'm really excited to see where this is. Cypher sometimes comes in a little bit rusty in the early stages, so this could be, and we saw a 2-1 there against Cypher, in fact, could be closer than maybe some people think.
I was just going to point that out. If you look at week 2, I mean, CNZ went up against Cypher. He got at least a map off of him, if that's any indication. But Cypher may be a different beast in the stage finals, as we've seen before. He kind of turns it on and hits peak Cypher mode. But CNZ was looking strong against Nosfa. I kind of share the same sentiment with Dan, where I figured Nosfa was going to come in, kind of have that swagger. CNZ had all the answered, played a good, calculated defensive game, and just Nosfa couldn't break through. So I think it might be a little bit more of the same with Cypher here. But Cypher, I think mechanically is probably a little bit better off than Nosfa. No disrespect to him, but we're going to see how this plays out, and it should be a great set, so we'll see.
I agree. I mean, talking a little bit about Cypher, his interviews throughout stage 3 were really telling. He talked about some of the struggles in terms of keeping up with the game, but he also talked a lot about how his own performance, speaking for himself, is sometimes dictated by just how life is going. And he kind of expressed that when I've taken care of things in life, I feel like Quake is sort of taking care of itself. Cypher is a champion, right? We know what he is capable of doing. He's talked about his ups and downs in Quake Champions, and I absolutely feel like he has found, I think, the flow, the style, the groove that he's been looking for. So I'm kind of expecting, I would say my expectations for Cypher are a little bit higher, kind of hearing his approach to the game, how he was thinking about the finals. Doesn't mean I don't have expectations for CNZ, but I'm kind of expecting to see the Cypher that we know and love and have seen become a legend over his course of many, many different Quakes here during the Stage 3 finals.
Yeah, no, I agree. And for me, up until this time, I haven't had that weight of expectation on Cypher the way I saw it, where back in the Quake Live days, Cypher almost had that Rafa-esque aura around him. We're going into an event, it was like, is it inevitable he's going to win? And everyone was looking for him to win. I haven't felt that with Cypher yet in Quake Champions. There's always been a bit of uncertainty for me when he goes into these events, is how far is he going to get? I haven't ever felt he's had that champion quality where it does feel that he's getting there. But once again, you look at the results, lots of 2-1s in there, which is slightly uncharacteristic of a champion when you have someone at the Rafa at 37-0. So there's still elements he needs to improve on, but when he does hit his stride, he's probably the most beautiful player to watch.
Totally agree, and it's just always insane hearing you say 37-0. I'm sorry, but Just like, how do you not drop a map? Anyways, yeah, Cypher,
Yeah, by the way,
absolute
don't forget
monster.
that he also said he was going to lose this.
Yeah.
You know, like in
This
the same
guy,
breath,
he doesn't know what he's talking about, Wheat, all right? Leave it to the professionals, Dan. How dare you? But yeah, Cypher firing.
right here.
Americas, Dan, Americas.
Oh.
Yeah, I think if we can see Cypher firing on all cylinders in that frag movie Cypher that everyone loves to see, I think this might be a brutal setup for CNZ. But again, I feel like, it's more of a clash of styles where CNZ can play very defensive and Cypher has to break through that defense. But we'll see how it goes. But, I mean, all eyes on Cypher, right? I mean, he's the highlight reel, so we'll see.
Yeah, and all eyes on the picks and bans. Let's take a look and get this one fired up. It's going to be, well, look at that. Molten making an appearance right away, followed then by Ruins, and a third map, if we need it, will be Awoken. Dan, I'm going to go to you. Take a look at our champ picks. So what do we got?
I mean, Cypher coming out strong with the slash instantly. Again, another champion we didn't see a lot until the later stages of the QPR last stage season, and Cypher was one of the people that pulled it out and did exceptional on it. So really excited to see that back. And he's going up against a Strog, so he's kind of a faster, smaller version of that champion. It's going to be really interesting to see. We just said that CNZ played this particular matchup going up against the Slash and played it very well. So he's got some recent experience. Ruins again, Galena, which is a bit of a comfort pick for Cypher. He tries to tend to pick it on Thale and Ruins whenever he can, even CK. So we knows how to play it well. But CNZ's got more versatility in the Ranger. So it's how he's going to play that map. And then we end up on Awoken, and I'm really unsure about the Visor pick. I think we actually saw Cypher play it once on this map and did okay, but bit hesitant just because of the lack of mobility which Doom has in spades. So that's the one I'm not sure about. Otherwise, it's pretty strong from Cypher, but CNZ has some really good counters in his pocket.
I mean, there is the slight ability where Cypher could just take it in two, not even have to deal with the third map, Dan. We'll see. We'll see. I'm sure CNZ does not want that to happen. He's got a little something to say. Molten Falls, again, kind of his playground. So very interesting first map. Both crouch sliding characters. Again, Slash does have the better mobility, the longer slides, the faster slides, but we'll see. I think Molten Falls is going to set the tone, and I'm really excited to see exactly how they play this, because CNZ is kind of a connoisseur of Molten Falls, so I think one of his better maps.
But who
interesting
picked it?
to see.
But who picked
that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying it's interesting to see.
It?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Because it is up there twice. I don't know, breaking my brain a little bit. But you're
not supposed to give it the illusion. We're supposed to ignore that completely.
You know, it's just like Molten Falls is that powerful when CNZ is playing. So anyway, we are in lobby, and it does look like the first game is on Molten Falls.
I was going to say, so Slash sounds like Molten Falls. It's not really the map we would pick it on, so that's yeah. Thanks, PGL. That's good work.
How dare you? How dare you?
Hey, no, seriously, thanks for all the great work that they're doing. Thanks for being here. I'm going to leave it to you two then. You know, just play by the rules, gentlemen. Like,
we'll try. We'll try and behave.
All
right.
Bye, Papa.
40, ZSX, I'll see you on the other side.
Bye, Papa. All right, Anthony's gone. I'm excited, Dan. I'm excited. What do you think, real quick? Just predictions. I know we haven't really done them today, kind of. But, I mean, do you think a walkover 2-0 for Cypher? I agree. Yeah. Really? That's interesting. Yeah. No, tell me more. Okay, well, that's great. Let's just take a look at the picks and bans real quick and look at Molten Falls twice. I have never been iced that hard in my life. That reminds me of one of my first dates. But yeah, I mean, for me personally, I think Molten Falls being the first map is going to be a really good start to the series in terms of who can get the advantage. I feel like CNZ, that is, as Lethal would say, his playground. Really strong on that map, but Cypher is Cypher, especially on the Slash. I mean, pretty much can maybe assert dominance. We'll see exactly how that goes. As Dan mentioned before he decided to leave me, much like my father did. Galena versus Ranger on Ruins. That one should be good. If Cypher gets that totem base and that economy going down by the heavy armor, it doesn't even really need to play for the Mega. It opens up opportunities, but that Dire Orb can be deadly. I personally don't think it's going to go to a third map. So Visor versus Doom does seem very interesting on Awoken. But I feel like Cypher's going to have, maybe not a walkover. Maybe that's a bit brash, but I feel like Cypher can take this one in two. Dan, what do you think? Oh, 40, you're so right. Thank you, Dan. I mean, it's it's
Barbells fell down and knocked out my. No, hey, I'm gonna step up for Dan because that's what papas do.
Thanks, Papa.
No problem.
Look, I keep telling him not to lift weights while he's casting, and he just never listens. Eventually, you're going to drop it on your router, you're going to ruin everything, and stuff like this happens. But we remain professional on the broadcast. That's what's important, Wheat. So, I don't know. Prediction from you, again, I'm thinking Cypher 2-0. Walkover is a little rough, but I think Cypher can take it in 2. What do you feel in terms of this set? You think it's going to go all 3?
You know, I'd love to be pleasantly surprised a little bit, but I do think that it is likely Cypher to take this one. I mean, like we can't forget his performance in the last stage finals. So make it all the way, to the end there, and I think was really impressive. And then obviously through stage 3, what we saw there. So certainly a lot of potential here. I'm gonna just have to go with my gut, say Cypher. But again, I didn't get to see the CNZ versus Nosfa matchup. It kind of makes my blood pretty excited to hear that CNZ pulled out that upset. A lot of people in chat were saying, I'm really surprised by that. Would love to see that extend off because CNZ has traditionally performed very well in the finals. So let's go, let's get it. But I would throw my channel points towards Cypher.
I agree, and it was refreshing to see CNZ kind of post up and play that defensive structure against Nosfa and pull it off. But again, I feel like Cypher's mechanics are a little bit above and beyond Nosfa, no disrespect to him. So I feel like if Cypher plays the way that Nosfa did, which is kind of hyper-aggressive in your face, I feel like Cypher might be able to do it a little bit better, and CNZ might not have the answers like he did with Nosfa, because again, Cypher hits like a truck, so you got to be ready and you got to be perfect. And I wouldn't say that CNZ was perfect against Nosfa, but he was good enough to take him down 2-0 to the lower bracket. So to me, it's a toss-up. And also, you can just have a very controlled, calm Cypher as well. It doesn't have to be all-out aggression. It's just when he flips on and he starts hitting, lights out, like good night. You are going to be in a frag movie whether you like it or not. So
unfortunately, that's exactly what happens oftentimes against your consent. It's just like, you frag me, my body's flying across the map, there's not much I can do about it. Plaster it all over the televisions. Let's go. Looks like we are live. Our first map is going to be on Molten, and we're gonna get started right here. Take us away, 40.
Map number 1, live on Cypher's POV, and again, the Slash versus Strog, both mobile. I'd say Slash much more mobile, so we'll see if that speed has anything to say on how the outcome plays out for this map number 1. Again, upper bracket action, so whoever does fall will have another opportunity in the lower bracket.
That's right, the lower bracket, not the place that you want to be, but at least it means you've still got a chance, right? Very important to try to go through that upper bracket as far as you can, because, man, fighting through the lower, knowing your tournament life is on the line every time, that can get a little rough. So battle here over the Mega as Cypher rains down a few rockets, and I don't think that rail hit. I think that was a machine gun blast, but Cypher kind of making his way across, and so far just 0-0 in this first minute.
Yeah, just a little tap from the machine gun. And look, I just love the way that Cypher's set up, turning off all the lights, just the glow of the monitor in the moment. Immersive gameplay here, Wheat, as he does pick up another heavy armor, taking a little bit of damage from CNZ, but not too bad. Is he going to get there on time? He is, just to do a lot of damage, and there's the shaft, there's the peeker play. I don't know if that's what he wanted, but the rail comes out, but Cypher's just too strong, takes frag number 1, Wheat.
Yeah, that LG was on fire, and I mean, I think CNZ did what he really had only one option to do, is that throw Peeker out, but Peeker was easily dispatched, and then that just meant that CNZ was a sitting duck there over on the corner. Great rocket from Cypher as he swings around the side, going through the teleporter, does land a little bit of damage, and then snags himself that Mega. But you can just see this need for speed on this map from both players, and Cypher definitely prioritizing that speed for position and for aggression. But he is up by 1, sees an opportunity. That rail does hit, and he's got to back off a little bit with no armor stack.
Cypher just waiting, grabbing these vials, making sure that he has the trail up when needed. Not going to contest at all for the Mega. Just doesn't really have a lot to work with here. Might try and set up a rail right around the corner. CNC just waiting, and there it is. Surprise! 60 HP though. Cypher hurt. Gonna use the trail. Not the cleanest escape. Could have been really, really bad. And so now he's trailless, and oh! Dirty dancing around that pole, just barely getting away from that rail. 100 HP, no armor. Looking a little bit vulnerable here, Weed, as CNZ has a massive stack.
Yeah, he does. And it's going to be an opportunity to capitalize right here. Cypher does peek over the edge, looking for that Mega. Gets hit with a little bit of damage, but as you mentioned, CNZ kind of carrying that stack. Going to grab the light for Cypher, but he can't really get overly aggressive at this point, right? Single rail from CNZ, which we've seen he's completely capable of hitting. Can stop that momentum so hard and potentially give up a frag. So we'll have a little battle. That spam from the hyperblast, or excuse me, from the plasma gun comes out. He does pick up that Mega, but unfortunately still not disengaging clean. And Cypher, I think, having a little bit of problem getting in a position where he can fight the fights he wants to fight.
Absolutely, and the Mega saved his life instead of adding to his stack, barely hanging on. CNC finding great opportunities and angles for rails here to keep Cypher low, and Cypher just has to play this perfectly. Again, dealing with the stack of Slash. Not very tanky of a champion, very speedy, but can be absolutely crushed in 2 rails. So Cypher has to play this super clean. He's doing a good job staying alive, maintaining this 1 frag lead, but not finding an opening, and even after hitting a rail, CNC replies with a rail of his own, and again, Cypher has to play super defensive and be careful.
Yeah, the railguns on both sides. 50% for Cypher and about 63 as we see more exchanges here. CNZ for the first time kind of finding himself without a stack, 40.
Yeah, finally melting through the stack is Cypher, earning himself some items, but he had to work so hard for that. For about 2 minutes, it was all CNZ just running the items, but now that Cypher has the stack, has the timing, he could play a little more aggressive, he can get a little more in CNZ's face, and now he has the trail up as well, so another heavy armor goes to him. Perfect stack to work with, flipping the bird, and almost getting that pixel-perfect rail on the slide-by. That would have been absolutely immaculate here. So he's positioning for this heavy, and instead of going for the peeker, he's just gonna melt the strong, but he still can't do it, and there's the pickup after the rail. And that was some Cypher stuff, Weed. Wow.
It was so good. I mean, we got to see that decision happen as Peeker was coming towards, like, well, forget about you. I know that you're over here in stasis off to the side. He did like 140 damage, just him sitting right there, and then was able to easily convert that into a second frag, coming through that teleporter and landing those final shots needed. It kind of puts CNZ now in a pretty tough position, although he's making the best of it on that upper level above the Mega, dropping and raining down those rockets. Does hit another rail as well, and now the LG pulls out, but Cypher managing to get the best of that one. And now you can just see, you give Cypher a little bit of room, and this is what he can do with it. Hitting those rails, hitting a really nice LG, and really making this work for himself. Huge rocket, double rocket, but CNZ answers back, is able to kind of put his fists up at that one. Cypher still in the lead, 3-1.
Huge rail as well, as Cypher's very, very weak right now. CNG just trying to find him. Can he skate around the corner, but knows that heavy armor is coming up soon. Going to play the items wisely, as less than 4 minutes remaining. Only down by 2. It's not panic mode yet. It's not panic territory for CNZ. So good job of maintaining his composure and just making sure he's playing around the items still. Just barely missing an opportunity to catch Cypher out there. But he's denying all of these lights. He wants to make sure that the map is all his before he goes hunting.
And no armor for Cypher. CNZ looking real comfortable with his stack right now. He's got Peeker up and available, and seems to be favoring this middle area, which many players do, looking for an opportunity. Does get on that trail, playing with fire a little bit there, trying to hit these rails, and misses 1, 2, unfortunately 3. And cypher gets away, sets him up for maybe a mega, but no, goes down the jump pad. CNZ able to easily capitalize off of that mistake, and cypher, it was too late. He has already had too much momentum going down. CNZ, great job capitalizing on that mistake.
Oh my god, what a rail. 4 HP. Can cypher convert this? CNZ just trying to do damage, but the rail's too strong. cypher plants him up 2, Wheat.
Yeah, and I mean, some good shots there from CNZ. He's trying to make this work. That clock ticks away, and we've talked about it a few times, right? Players are more willing to take some risks, and it may look like, wow, you got worse as the game went on. It's like, no, when you're down by 2 and that timer's ticking, you kind of got to start thinking about where can I hedge my bets and where can I potentially put myself in an advantage. And that's exactly what we're seeing CNZ do. It's kind of working out a little bit at a time, right? cypher down to just below 100. CNZ's not looking super healthy himself, but trying to get in there to those 225s by the Mega, and he will be denied as the Mega is picked up by cypher, and now he heads on over to that Heavy. Lands a rail, puts CNZ in a real bad spot, and it's likely that cypher's going to be able to take both of these. Another rail, they actually trade, and is he going to drop down and go for it? There's the rockets coming out, and there is it. And cypher kind of has map control right now.
Map control indeed, with 1:30 on the board and 2 frag lead. If he gets this Mega rather cleanly, that could be it, as he has the mobility to stay away from CNZ. Just playing choke points, maybe with LG out, is the play here, as Peeker is going to be down for another 12 seconds as well. So the shenanigans on CNZ's playbook are limited here. Trying to rain down some damage from shotgun on this next Heavy. cypher just doing a great job of avoiding it. Going up the jump pad, LG on LG, so much damage. CNZ might go down here. The Peeker's back up, but the rail dealt with nicely here, and CNZ just doesn't have any options, Weed.
None. Yeah, and I mean, giving up that Mega 2 here in the final minutes, it puts cypher in a really good spot. You know, with that 90 seconds that was remaining, I think cypher really still had to be very careful. We saw what happened in the matchup with Chain, right, where base gave him just a little bit of room, and he was able to really turn that around. Didn't want to see that happen at all, and so cypher kind of going into a more defensive mode there, but still giving it everything that he's got. CNZ down by 2, and he's going to need to make some moves here. cypher planted firmly in that rail room, and now just playing ring around the rosy, hide and seek, whatever game you want to play it, because he knows that he's got this one in the bag. 10 seconds left. Ooh. And a great rail as he drops down the jump pad for the game, 5-2.
And there it is. cypher will take map number 1. It wasn't the easiest, like I said. Walkover was a little bit of a hyperbole there, as CNZ does a good job, but cypher just a little bit better, a little bit faster. 5-2. It's in the books, and cypher's up 1 in this set.
Sorry, I don't know.
I'm just a curse. It's okay. I just kick things with my
What's
feet.
going on? I mean, we lost ZSX. My camera's off now. I think ZSX is back. Ah, there it goes. I don't know.
Nobody wants to play with me. Yeah, so shouts to cypher as we take a look at the highlights real quick. And this Peeker play, again, as you mentioned, desperation there. Stuck in the corner, cypher able to clean that one up with a little bit of HP left. CNZ not too happy about one. This play right here, just hyper-focusing the Strog instead, putting all the pressure on CNZ as a drone pilot, saying, you better hit everything because I am going straight for you. And it pays dividends there as cypher takes another frag. Frustration from CNZ is, I mean, yeah, you're going against cypher. Like we said, he hits like a truck. 46% LG, I believe, from cypher, which is just... It's nuts. It's nuts, man. cypher is such a beast.
I mean, that first frag with the LG by cypher was quite nice. And we saw that kind of consistent throughout there, as the low light seems to be the power that cypher needs in order to take that first victory. And they're going to be going on to map 2.
And to be fair,
Dan, are you back, Dan?
Yeah, Dan is hiding in the shadows, I believe. Deadlifting a couple more times. But 46% LG was wrong. It was 47 for CNZ. 36 was actually what cypher was hitting. His rail was 46, so my mistake. But he still hits like a truck. The LG is still insane from cypher, even though CNZ was hitting more accurately. I mean, we see the damage for about 400 more, 300 more for cypher there in terms of shaft damage. So,
speaking of shaft damage, ZSX, are you back with us?
The Incredible Bulk, are you okay? Because I'm turning into the Incredible Sulk if you're not here.
What?
No offense, Weed. Oh, okay. Welcome back. How was the nap?
I don't know. I mean, you're back. You're in the channel. I don't.
Oh, okay. Okay. Good. All right.
Dan can't be heard, so we're
chat.
like talking to Dan, and no one can hear him. Got it. Got it.
This is my first day, Wheat. How do you do this for a living? Anyways, 5-2, map number 1 in the books. Cypher takes, I would say, CNZ's best map, and that probably explains why Cypher picked it. He believed in himself, the slash play outclassing the Strog. As we're going to head into map 2 shortly, it's going to be Ruins, Galena for Cypher, Ranger for CNZ, and all the pressure's on CNZ here, and I think he might be able to pull this one out, but my heart still says Cypher is going to take this 2-0. I don't know what it is. You know, you just ever get that feeling, Wait, where it's just a little something. I just feel that right now.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, you know, while we were speculating in game 1, now seeing how Cypher is playing, I'm sticking to where I was at in terms of Cypher being able to take this one. The Galena versus Ranger on Ruins. I mean, both these players very familiar with this map. Don't feel like there is necessarily a gross advantage for one of these players. So I think it comes down to those raw skills. And, you know, Cypher with 1 map lead gives them that flexibility. I mean, I still would not count CNZ out by any means. I mean, 5-2 in the last match wasn't like it was a commanding, huge, you know, devastating lead by any means. So yeah, I think he could still pull this out here. Like CNZ's rail looked really good. His LG looked really good. So a spawn, a fight going in his favor, I think could change everything.
Well, if you can throw down some last-minute predictions on the under, 16% for CNZ as Cypher with a whopping 84%. We're live on map number 2, Wheat. This could be the final one for CNZ in the upper bracket, as Cypher does have the map advantage in this set.
He does.
Oh my god!
Early. Oh no!
15 seconds on Ruins for the first frag. Not sure if that's the fastest, but that's pretty quick.
That was, and I really feel like it caught both players by surprise a little bit, 40. You know, CNZ, I think, looking for a quick teleport to the top, and unfortunately, well, Cypher was there, and Cypher's surprise was like, oh, I can actually kill my opponent here. And the 3 rockets later, here we are, 1-0. Not a great start, though. It immediately means that CNZ's mountain got a little bit steeper.
Just a brutal start. You can't even blink, and you're down 1 to Cypher. Already down a map as well. Cypher holding the high ground here. Bit of damage here, but the defensive rocket is so strong. He's also got a totem and a rail, and CNZ just cannot fight now. Instantly, blink of an eye, so much damage coming out from Cypher.
And those rails continuing, 40, looking very, very nice. And we talked a lot about how, you know, rail can really be the skill you need on this game, right? Those long distance, like opening up opportunities for yourself, forcing your opponent, but with those nice rails to not be able to fight for a major item, all very key here on Ruins. And there we do see that heavy picked up. Now, as far as the timings between the heavy and the mega, there we see right there that mega just got about a 9-second extension, which was set up by CNZ, but could be advantageous for Cypher if he kind of figures out what is going on.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he picked up the exact timing on it, but he should be diving down for this heavy here, but it looks like he's going to play for the mega, not realizing it's delayed. So, yeah, he's actually going to miss out on the heavy because of the delay. So a really good play from CNZ here as he wanted to try and catch him out at the mega. So things turning in CNZ's favor just slightly, but really it's more of a flip of the items as Cypher is able to pick up the mega cleanly.
Yeah, and I'm actually surprised because CNZ set the timing on that one. I'm not sure why he didn't or decided to not go that way. In fact, that's going to allow Cypher to set up a little trap down here. We got the orb coming out. Cypher's armor stack is gone, but he's going to drop back down. Hits 1 rocket. Oh my gosh, drops the totem, grabs the heavy, and finishes him off with the lightning gun. Beautifully played, and now in a position where he could probably grab this mega, and I'm going to have to chalk that one up as, I don't know, maybe a misplay there. I feel like CNZ could have had control of both of the major items. Somehow it didn't go that way, and Cypher capitalized.
Oh my god, and just going up toe-to-toe, and CNZ pulls it out with the clutch rail! Oh my goodness, Sweet. What a play from CNZ there.
Oh, one more rail. He's going to give it. Oh, no. How?
You're not escaping. You can't.
You are not escaping. And then hitting his third rail in a row, fourth in the rail in a row. Doesn't get number 5 because the nail gun cuts him down. But we're seeing the action we like. Oh, up that jump pad, hits another rail. You got 6 for us, Cypher? Feel like you do. Both players, though, playing a little scared. Cypher at 41 and CNZ at 34.50. Going up that jump pad now, looking through the eyes of CNZ. And what an exchange we've had here so far in Ruins.
Yeah, and I know that Cypher's the Galena, but CNZ seems to be the one praying, saying, please, no more rails. Do not hit me anymore. He fires back with a rail of his own. So he's waiting around the corner here. Good little trap with the Rockets. Big shotgun blast from Cypher, but the Rockets will prevail for CNZ, tying it at 3.
Yeah, and I think CNZ really needed to close that gap. I mean, obviously you do to win. That's mathematically how this whole thing works. But in terms of just not letting Cypher gain any more momentum, that was a good spot. Of course, a couple of totems get a blast off on CNZ. He's now looking and peeking into the Mega, sees his opponent actually retreating away from that area, so knows that it has been picked up. There is only about 5 seconds between these major items, 40. So what was a 9 seconds deficit or separation is now only down to about 5. And let's see what these players are going to do as CNZ is going to head on down to that heavy. And then will he hightail it up to Mega? There's the rocket jump. Going to get up there. Sees an opportunity. Gets hit by a rocket. Uses the orb to secure it. And now can just back off and fight where he wants to fight.
Yeah, decent play there from CNZ to make sure that the items are his. Forcing Cypher to try and rely on the totems and the lights here. Now CNZ has the high ground as well. Playing really solid here, getting hit with a rail on the way down though, and he's a little bit early on this heavy by about 3 seconds. Good rail there from CNZ to keep the damage up at least for the time being. Can he make it back to the Mega? This might be a cutoff at the T-Con here from Cypher, and he's actually not going to be there. So clean pickup for CNZ. Big opportunity here. Ooh, the rocket just missing out.
That would have been big. He almost hits another one on the stairs there, and Cypher's wondering if he has an exit that's safe at all. We do have that heavy about to spawn in 5 seconds. CNZ taking out a totem and is in position. And looking for him to really try to take control of his cycle. And there the orb comes out. And the LG to finish it up. CNZ now up by 1 frag with less than 5 minutes left to go.
Burst damage coming up huge for CNZ on that one as he pulls into the lead by 1. Slowing down here near the T-Con as Heavy is up, but he's trying to figure out exactly where Cypher might be as Cypher was creeping towards the T-Con himself. Big rail there. Should get another free one though. Plasma actually punishing CNZ for peeking, saying, how dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you look at me with your eyes? 6:30 have elapsed on this one. Real close. 1 frag for CNZ. Does he have what it takes to close this one out, you think?
I do, but I wouldn't call it quite yet at all. You know, both players definitely playing a solid game right here. We're seeing a good game of Quake here on Ruins. 1 frag doesn't mean a whole lot with 3 minutes left to go. And I think it's going to come down to these last cycles. Now, Mega is up. Heavy has been picked up. And CNZ is going to grab that Heavy while Cypher, grab the Mega while Cypher has the Heavy. And those rails, 40, those types of rails are the ones that are going to decide this game, right? That was just free damage on Cypher's behalf. CNZ, no armor stack. He's going to have to go hunting for some lights here at a moment. Or he'll make a beeline down to Heavy. No, he will not.
Yeah, Cypher's going to be there waiting. Rocket jumps up and takes a rail, and that's unfortunate as Galena does not have the rocket jump passive. CNZ goes through the telly, eats a totem. That gives Cypher the information. Cypher actually has the better stack now. 10 seconds till he gets his next totem. The Dire Orb is available for CNZ if things go horribly wrong here as he's setting up a trap in the courtyard. Cypher going up the jump pad, just trying to get a glimpse of where CNZ might be. But really good play from CNZ. He can be passive and patient. He's up by 1, so all the pressure's on Cypher as the time keeps on ticking.
Yeah, the one thing I would say, and I know there's 2 minutes left, but we've seen this happen before where sometimes you kind of give up that map a little bit too early, but there the orb comes out. Cypher somehow wins the engagement. Double rocket to tie it up. Less than 2 minutes left to go, and that's exactly the kind of thing you still have to be playing with the utmost care, knowing that something like that can happen and completely turn the tables. A great rocket from CNZ, and that will eject Cypher out of the room. It will give CNZ that heavy, but he takes some damage there as well. So both players kind of in this position where, tie game, can't really play to the clock, to the 10 minutes. You have to play this like there's 10 minutes left, right? It's Cypher very weak, down to 15 points of health. What is he going to do here? He's got to be careful with that RL. Otherwise, we could have one of those unfortunate situations. The orb comes out, chased by CNZ. How is he not hitting anything? But CNZ finally finishes up 4-5.
Wow, and I thought that was going to be some more Cypher magic right there. CNZ's going to push off the spawn. He should get this. He pushes Cypher through the telly, but it's only a matter of time. Couldn't get to the totem. CNZ extremely weak, but he's up 2 with 50 seconds left. This mega's going to be huge. He gets railed off of the platform, and that should seal it. CNZ denies Cypher the mega, has the 2-frag lead. Now he can just do additional damage here at the heaviest. Cypher has nothing. The machine gun melts him, and just like that, in a blink of an eye, CNZ 3-frag lead, 30 seconds left on the clock.
I mean, a great game coming out from these two players. Cypher, who took game number 1 by 3, and now CNZ poised to take game number 2 by 3. Very, very close matchups. And, the scoreline doesn't actually represent how close this game was through most of the duration. We saw it tied for quite a while. CNZ holding that lead for a little bit, Cypher bringing it back, but then CNZ kind of pulling ahead. And, I like the fact that we're going to a third and final map. It's going to be on Awoken, and what a display by CNZ. He has consistently showed us that you put him into tournament play, and he is going to give it everything that he's got, and he's going to bring the best possible version of CNZ that he can. The question will be, can Cypher match what he did in game 1 as we move on to Awoken?
Yeah, I guess that feeling I was having was just a bad bean burrito I had for breakfast. I don't know, Wheat, because CNZ is forcing a map 3. It's going to be Visor versus Doom on Awoken, Cypher on the Visor, CNZ on the Doom. And will that spell Doom for Cypher? Because, again, the Visor pick a little bit interesting. I'm not going to say it's the worst pick at all, but Doom just clearly has the advantage on Awoken, being able to traverse the map with ease. So we take a look at the highlights here, and just as you mentioned, really well played from CNZ. Really defensive when he needed to be, great rockets, good timing on attacking the major items, and Cypher just couldn't break through that defense.
Yeah, just watching through some of these frags and thinking back to, some of the moments. There was that one moment where CNZ definitely had control of that heavy, could have grabbed the mega. It looked like it wasn't going to play into his favor. But that just wasn't the case, right? You can't let a single event that happens in a 10-minute game dictate, right, the remaining 6 minutes. And that's exactly what CNZ did, and I think is a testament to how much he's grown as a player and how much experience he's picked up just by playing through the deep, deep, deep talent of the EU region. So Cypher needs to bring this one back to win it. CNZ has a chance to take down his second strong opponent here for the Stage 3 finals at QuakeCon, and I'm pretty excited for this third and final map, 40.
I would just say that very rarely would people say CNZ over Cypher. Again, we've seen it before in week 2. Cypher took it 2-1, so we're kind of about where we thought we'd be. If Cypher takes this one, okay, business as usual. But if CNZ can pull this one out, Wheat, and send Cypher to the lower bracket day 1, I don't think anybody, maybe a handful of people, would have put their channel points on that in the predictions. And we'll see right now, taking a look, 75% in favor of Cypher still. So I don't know. CNZ, I mean, he's upset amazing players before. He's shocked us all before with his finals performance. As you said, different beast in the finals. And here we are. CNZ showing up big. So map number 3 on Awoken. CNZ, what do you got?
I mean, go back and look at his records at some of these other basically every finals since the time that he won his relegation game and got into the QPL, he has done pretty well. You know, I think in stage 1 a little bit more than stage 2, but still the performance has been there. And, you know, for some players, it can take, right, acclimating to the tournament format and your opponents and how you're playing. It takes something that takes a little bit of experience, but CNZ's adapted quite well, right? And versus an opponent like Cypher, who's incredibly seasoned in that regard, that's pretty impressive.
Absolutely, and again, this is map number 3 in the upper bracket, and just to add a little something to it, the loser of this one will face Cooler in the lower bracket.
Wow. Wow. All right, well, I'll be looking forward to that one. We're looking through Cypher's eyes as we see the piercing sight come out. That results in a rail. Not going to be able to get a follow-up rail there, but sets him up for some potential success. Shooting right through the geometry here of this map. And his opponent grabs that heavy, lands a rocket from up above, picks up that mega. Now, you could say a quote-unquote slow start, but I would say more or less a calculated start by both these players.
Yeah, nice and slow in comparison to what we saw in Ruins. The no 15-second frag here, unfortunately for Cypher, but decent damage being dealt with. As Cypher does drop down and make sure that he has that vision when he needs it. So getting all the information he needs before this next heavy. Setting up an easy rail here. Almost has the ability to get another one. Didn't want to peek, didn't want to take any unnecessary damage. Now he's got a big stack to work with trying to attack this mega, but it's already gone. Takes a little bit of rocket damage. Gets sent down to the drive-through window, but can escape without taking any further damage.
Now, one thing, you know, Cypher's been spending a lot of time over here, but one thing that's notable is that CNZ has not been able to get a rail yet. So, right, well, it might seem like Cypher is favoring this area a little bit. And keeping that weapon out of his hands is going to be beneficial, especially considering how well he's utilized it in map 1 and 2. I wouldn't expect that to last too much longer as we see Cypher extending himself out, knowing like, I need a few weapons that are out there that I can't get access to. And here we are 2 minutes in. Now piercing sight comes up, might give Cypher an opportunity to land a nice shot, and he does. 62 damage rocket. And now who will take control of this middle area? The double jump to try to avoid some of that damage. But I don't even know who came out on top there. The rail from CNZ, not quite a death rail, but really close to it.
Wow.
Cypher hitting another one. That was scary.
I don't know how Cypher hit that one. CNZ was trying to line up the kill shot, and Cypher said nay. As now he has the stack advantage, and again, serving up something hot and fresh through the window there. Trying to close this one out. Might be able to catch him in the banana, just a little bit wary of going up the jump pad, and CNZ's nowhere to be found as he's trying to stack back up, and the rocket from above won't land, but Cypher's in full hunt mode, checking every possible exit weed. He's got CNZ trapped.
He does. Sees the rocket come in, hits the piercing sight, knows exactly where his opponent is. LG comes out, lot of damage on CNZ, and Cypher gets that first frag. Now this is a big moment right here. Can he convert? It doesn't look like he's really able to. Jumps down maybe a little bit too early. Still lands a beautiful rail. Might still be able to secure this heavy. Oh, my Lord. I love Quake so much. What a beautiful vertical rail as he's jumping across to that light. That puts Cypher up 2-0.
Oh, Cypher, and he catches him out in the banana. CNZ in the wrong part of town, gets LG down. This is all Cypher territory here. Pops the vision. He's going to be able to get another freebie, maybe even another one, and he does. Big damage, but CNZ does fire back. Ooh, but his head gets taken off as he peeks around the corner. 4-0 for Cypher.
I'm really impressed with how Cypher's playing this, right? He's staying on top of this piercing sight. He's playing the more medium long-range game, using every little trick in his bag of tricks, and consistently hitting rails. A 68% rail right now. Remember, Effortless posted 1 of 16. Cypher is 11 of 16 right now, and someone who I would certainly classify as on fire. My God.
You bully. You bully. 5-0 for Cypher. As, oh, big rocket. The punches won't do it. No, we wanted to go fisticuffs, but Cypher brought a rocket launcher to the fist fight. 6-0 wheat as we're getting closer to the halfway point. Cypher getting closer to taking this away, but big damage from CNZ. Turns it around, puts his first frag on the board.
And he needed that. CNZ needed to stop that train on the tracks. It was out of control and heading towards the station. And there's still quite a bit of time left on this one. Now, will that kill some momentum for Cypher? I don't know. We're going to have to see. Yeah, I think he knew he was pushing his luck a little bit there, having taken some damage in some of those engagements, but he also racked up a couple extra frags there, putting him in a much better spot heading into the second half of this game.
Yeah, and I think the issue that's popping up is, as a Doomslayer, you have the double jump. It's fantastic, great, but you don't really use Berserk a whole bunch, so you can't really deny the vials. So essentially, Cypher just gets free vision all the time because all the vials are for him. There's a good tickle with the LG there, a little bit of Tri-Bolt to follow up as well. Great rail there. CNZ almost hits another one there, does finally hit one, but the heavy goes to Cypher, and he fires back with a rail of his own as CNZ makes his way to the Mega. So good damage exchange from both players. CNZ, more health but no armor, needs to be careful. Cypher just dropped down. CNZ, a little bit of a trap here. Great rail. Almost hits another one as well. So Cypher needs to get out of there under a little bit of pressure from CNZ.
And still consistently hitting these rails. Not still at that 72% we saw, but 60's pretty damn good still. Less than 5 minutes left to go. There is another one. Also allows him to grab the heavy. So, you know, break down halfway through this game, what are we seeing? Well, first off, this might be the first time that Cypher cleanly grabs a full major item cycle. You know, he's had control consistently, but this is lockdown. And then you couple that with the rail accuracy that we've seen out of Cypher, insightfulness in terms of knowing where his opponent is, and then obviously filling in the gaps with the piercing sight. It really has been a winning combination so far here for Cypher.
Yeah, just strong control over the map. Even if he doesn't have the items, he shows up to deal the damage. Again, the rail so strong right now. CNZ making his way through the T-Con, trying to track Cypher, trying to add some more to the score here. Good rockets. Okay, that was pretty. Good flick and almost. Oh boy, those boots just hanging on by a thread there. That was close.
It was, and I think CNZ really needed that to try to put something together. Now, with just a rail and a shoddy, we will have a trade. However, I feel like that trade actually, I was gonna say it kind of savored Cypher, but neither of them really got the the ammo pack there. They didn't get the little supply, but it doesn't matter because Cypher, he's kind of picked up his aggression a little bit. And look at this scoreline now, 8-3, 5 frags with less than 3 minutes left to go.
And the Berserk popped, and Cypher just had perfect vision on it, popping the vision, getting free rocket damage as CNZ was literally just flailing his arms around. 2:30 left, down by 5, and Cypher is just looking so strong. Again, even when he gives up the items, he's just dealing massive amounts of damage. And here's the drop down, the swap to rockets is going to be enough. Big damage, so close. CNZ needs to be careful with this next move. Both players weak, but CNZ hanging by a thread.
And, you know, CNZ can't really get a stack to fight here, right? I mean, which means his only options are to just drill those rails. He lands the first one. Piercing sight, though, lets Cypher know exactly where his opponent is, so he's not going to walk into any traps. Some Tri-Bolt coming out, but less than 2 minutes to go, and this becomes a real tough hill for CNZ.
That rail makes it a little bit less tough, but even after he gets this frag, time is his biggest enemy. He needs to play perfectly off the spawn as well. Cypher's so weak. Not going to go for the heavy, just going to try and stay alive here. 35 HP is going to make his great escape as CNZ will grab the heavy, but again, 1:30 time is CNZ's biggest enemy. And oh yeah, Cypher that can defensively hit like a truck with rockets and LG. I forgot, my bad.
Yes, he can. It's not just rail, he's deadly, that's for sure. There's another one as well, and I think that is going to write the final few sentences and paragraphs of this chapter. The Book of Cypher, as it looks like he's going to take this one 2-1 though. Not a clean sweep by any means, and I think you mentioned that the winner of this, or excuse me, the loser of this matchup is going to go down to face Cooler, right?
Yep, Cooler on the B stream.
So, Cooler versus CNZ, that's going to be one not to miss. So it would be absolutely wild to have Cooler go out a second time. 216 damage with that LG. The CNZ is forced out, and this game is officially over in the final moments. Cypher's going to take it.
30 seconds left, just the victory lap here is unfortunately for CNZ just coming up short. Played really, really well though. But now goes down to the lower bracket, and as you mentioned, going to face Cooler, and first day exits always hurt. Are we going to see Cooler make his second? I don't know. I think that did he lose to CNZ last time too in the lower bracket?
We'd have to check.
Fact man,
I don't know
where
for
are
certain.
You? Somebody out there.
But I think that actually might be true. I think that might be true.
And there it is. It's official. It's in the books. Cypher takes it 2-1. Well done again to CNZ. I didn't really expect the one map, but history repeats itself as we saw in week 2. The same kind of outcome, 2-1 for Cypher. So CNZ has what it takes. It's just Cypher, and in the end, just getting big damage, big frags, and taking Awoken.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Cypher as a legend, right? You can't discount him. You know, he puts the reps in, he puts the time in, and what he is absolutely capable of. CNZ still with the phenomenal set there, not the winner, but Cypher showing us, all right, he wants to stay alive. He's bringing something to the table here, and let's see how far he can actually take that, as CNZ will fight for his life in the lower bracket versus a very, very viable opponent, that being Cooler. Let's go ahead and bring ZSX back, find out how his journey was through the interwebs, and you're back.
I didn't want to cast that anyway, you know.
Welcome back, buddy. We were all really worried.
It's fine. Just casual dog ripping the router out the wall. Another day in the ZSX house. But yeah, nice. I didn't obviously catch a lot of the first game in a bit because I was plugging that all back in, but really good to see. I saw map 2 onwards. I thought CNZ played that map perfectly. Great use of the ranger, and as you put it perfectly, Cypher was just not able to break the defense. But that third map, I spent so much of it with my mouth hanging open because of the rails that Cypher was hitting, and just it wasn't just laying them up, they were just all flick shots. It was insane. But what I found most interesting from a Cypher POV was that he just stayed away from the mid ground. He just played the low ground, he played the side areas, because he was like, if you have the Doom, I'm not even going to challenge it. I'm just going to stay away, I'm going to play low, I'm going to play far. And it was, I've never seen anyone play like that, where they didn't even bother to go in that T-con, because he knows it's not his place to be. And just that strategical adaptation, coupled with the fact that he hit everything for about 6.5 minutes, meant it was a really tough road for CNZ, but still the scoreline wasn't a whitewash. And again, it just shows how strong CNZ is. It's just that he lives in an era of some of the world's best esports players, and he just cannot break the barrier that is Cypher.
I mean, I still think CNZ has improved significantly since his entry into the QPL. I think it's very apparent. I mean, he's always had some skill. Just to make it in the QPL takes skill. But I think being able to play through that EU talent has really helped him develop his own style, his own game. I'm excited to see what he can do in the remainder of the tournament. And going up against Cooler, that'll be the first test. So congratulations to both players for a great game, but more importantly, congratulations to Cypher for staying alive and moving forward in the upper bracket. So we are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, it's going to be our next game, which is going to be Dramas versus Razy, happening right here. I believe we got a couple more matches on the B stream as well. We'll keep you updated. Thanks for joining us here for day 1 of the QPL World Championship. We'll be back with more right after this.